So what does it take to transition from services to product?
So in services, a lot of people just think of client servicing. Whatever client says, I'll have to do that, which is not a problem. But the thing is, like, when you stop thinking,
How is AI impacting the gaming industry?
it's impacting everything. I would not say it is impacting gaming industry. It is impacting in many ways
So
actually.
why people management? Why not IC?
It's actually sometimes the situation take the choice for you.
Can you tell, your fellow engineers ki what does a VP or an AVP, what does their typical day look like and why their job is not as easy as it appears to be?
But before we talk about that, I was working at Tokopedia, and we used to kind of go party every now and then. And one person who is very vocal, very friendly, and everything, he kind of point blank asked me, "What do you do?"
So how do you motivate the team in those cases, and don't they come back to you questioning कि यार हमने last time भी करा था, वही urgency थी, भी 2 महीने बाद तो feature ही हट गया हमारा. Then what's the point of working on that?
Give transparency after this event has kind of gone.
Welcome guys to another episode of Tech with Sukant. Today we have Meet, who will be talking about his journey in the overall tech ecosystem in India. He has been in the industry for almost 17 years. Currently, he is AVP engineering at Junglee Games. So we'll talk a lot about, he has been at Tokopedia, Tata Click, then I think Shuttle as well, right? So we'll talk about, what it takes to be part of these kind of companies, and then, let's start from there. So Meet, welcome again to the podcast, and thanks for taking time for this. So 17 साल हो गए आपको, मतलब you have been in the industry for almost 17 years. How do you think, your journey has evolved over time from then to now?
So interesting actually. I mean, first of all, thanks for having me here. And the journey is kind of, it's cliche to say, but it is actually roller coaster, like most of the people will say. How do you start? What you want to do is, like, initially, I come from a very basic college and a small towner. So initial thing was just to kind of get the job, and then throughout my journey, work with different people, learn from them what is important, what is not. And then from there to kind of working in the product based company and feeling that okay, you are the owner of the company now. You need to kind of think in that perspective. It is not just your ownership, you'll have to inspire the ownership in others.
Correct.
And don't be married to anything when it comes to technology. That was one of the things that initially I was not aware of.
Being detached is the key.
Yeah, I mean, whatever is new is coming, explore it, try it out, let's see where it goes, how it is kind of shaping the world and all. Like these days, AI, earlier when the mobile industry came and a lot of people were like reluctant, and how web will turn into mobile. So ride the wave, explore different things, don't get married that I am just going to work with PHP or another technology. And that's what was the learning for me, and that's how kind of navigating in different products.
Okay. So what was your first company?
My first company was Emphasis. When I got the offer, it was Emphasis, an EDS company, and when I joined, it became Emphasis, an HP company. So it was kind of got acquired a couple of times.
What it did?
It was a service-based company.
Achha.
It had 3 verticals. If I remember correctly, one was application, that was around the software development. Another one was BPO, and third one was they used to call ITO, which was IT infrastructure or everything, wherein like they'll kind of teach you about the networking and every stuff like that, and then they'll kind of get you those kind of projects. I got the offer there for the software development, and this was actually a funny story. It's like back in 2008, it was a time of recession,
Correct, right.
and a lot of companies were revoking their offers. And I had just one offer, not like a lot of people who had 2 3 offers to shuffle from. I had this one only.
तो मुझे लग रहा है उस टाइम पे उतने ऑफर्स मिल भी नहीं रहे थे, लेमान ब्रदर्स वाला जो चल रहा था, राइट? सो आई थिंक
So I am 2008 pass out, so the offers started flowing in from 2007.
सो यू गॉट इट.
लोगों के पास 2 2 3 3
पहले
offers
हो
होते
चुका
थे.
था.
हाँ.
करेक्ट, करेक्ट.
And मेरे पास एक ही था, and when I got the call कि come join us, but not in applications that they used to call for software development, but in ITO.
ओके.
And I was in Jaipur, I was roaming in a mall buying some stuff and all. I don't know what got into me. I was desperate at that time, like at least call तो आए.
करेक्ट.
Call आया and I said नहीं, applications है तो I'll join, otherwise I won't. And then they said okay, we'll let you know, अभी तो नहीं है.
अच्छा.
And call got disconnected. Like this was what, around 20 seconds call. And I sat there on the floor. What have I done? This is like, people are looking for jobs. They are trying to kind of get into any companies, any kind of job. I am a electronics graduate and got a job in a software industry, and then in a very difficult time got the call and I said no. A lot of people kind of scolded me, cursed me. It's like, तुमको मिल रहा है तुम मना कैसे कर सकते हो? I don't know, but call आ गया वापस.
अच्छा.
Not on the same day. Kind
And
of
you said yes.
Yeah. And I was prepared to say yes to anything. And
Right.
came like application, so yes.
You got it. तो अभी सी बहुत सारे लोग का ना, पीपल कमिंग फ्रॉम मे बी tier 2 tier 3 कॉलेजेस, उनको अपॉर्चुनिटीज मोस्टली सर्विसेज में मिलती है, राइट? तो यू हैव ट्रांजिशन फ्रॉम सर्विसेज टू प्रोडक्ट. सो product, maybe you have worked with good brands like Tokopedia, Tata Click, then Junglee, right? So what does it take to transition from services to product?
So in services, a lot of people just think of client servicing. Whatever client says, I'll have to do that, which is not a problem. But the thing is, like, when you stop thinking, you are just kind of whatever is coming your way. Managers, project managers are pushy that okay, these are the timelines, you'll have to kind of get things done, that different kind of commitments and all. But there a lot of times technology is given to you. Okay, this is the technology, you will have to use it. We have been using it, continue with that.
Got it.
You just don't stop there. You keep on exploring, keep on reading stuff like that. For me, I was kind of at that time when I joined that company, in my college I did .NET, C# and all. The job was in a mobile practice team.
Yeah.
They had only one Mac, and one Mac Intel based, one Mac Power PC based, which was not usable for mobile development, mobile application development. So the other Mac was actually high in demand. There were 4 or 5 people used to work on that. We used to ration that time. I used to go on weekends to kind of work around that. Every time there used to be a proposal from a client, okay, let's make it on a desktop. I used to, for fun, make it for iOS.
Okay.
And back in those times, there was not a lot of information on Stack Overflow or Google.
Correct.
One application I made, it was looking decent for that time, not good actually, and I got stuck somewhere, and it has been a week back that time, like I could not get the answer how exactly I can solve this particular problem. I went to, I think, 5 levels above in the hierarchy. We were just having lunch. He waved at me. The name was JP, I guess. YKM. JP
Okay.
was the other guy. So this person asked me, you are not looking in your element. What happened? I said, I'm struggling with this problem. He said, I have a friend at Apple. I can write an email. I said, please do. I drafted, he sent, we got the response after 3 days. That's how I got solved one very basic technical problem. These days you just Google it, the first link will kind of tell you.
Not even Google, just go to ChatGPT
Yeah,
and
chat
you'll get a
GPT.
pinpointed answer.
Exactly. So at that time it was kind of a problem, and I explored. He saw, okay, it is kind of working. Then they started making proposals around the mobile applications, and I kept my eyes open on the internet, what's happening and all. So at that time the team was kind of exploring different device. Whichever device came, I coded for that.
Okay.
I coded for BlackBerry, I coded for J2ME devices, I coded for Nokia, Symbian, Windows Phone, iOS,
Acha.
Android was
Okay,
new.
almost all devices, it
Almost
seems.
every device you can have your hands on, I have coded on that particular device. And then whenever I used to kind of get a call, I used to take the call, not for switching, just for learning. Okay, what are they asking?
So basically, the key is to take initiatives, right? Learn new things and keep experimenting and keep, leveling up.
Right. That's the key. Actually, it is a universal thing. It is going to be there till the eternity. That's the key. You should not kind of just keep yourself in one cocoon and kind of keep working on that. Keep your eyes open. Keep reading and all.
So in at Junglee Games, mostly companies में होता है क्या है, when they hire, they add that filter कि यार product से ही होने चाहिए developers. So do you guys have a similar kind of filter at Junglee as well?
Actually, the filter is there, but not in this way. That product से ही होने चाहिए. Product mindset होना चाहिए.
Got it.
So, if I talk to a person who comes from a service industry and it's a Java position, and when I see, okay, they are talking about one product that they kind of made for bank, I start asking, okay, these are the functional requirements. Tell me what was the non-functional requirement that you proposed.
Okay.
Keep telling me, okay, how did you navigate? They say, okay, team lead ने मना कर दिया, project manager ने मना कर दिया, ये नहीं कर सकते. Okay, how did you navigate? Why? How exactly you pitched? And then you see that, okay, the person has the product mindset. And very common thing that often I kind of ask people, okay, which is the most used application on your phone? How do you feel about it? ये feature उन्होंने कैसे बनाया होगा? How they reached to this particular feature? And then the product thinking kind of comes in the place, and you understand. A lot of people don't even understand what is the product thing. And that's the filter actually.
Got it. So Meet, जब आपने start करा था, then what was your tech stack when you started your career, and what actually you are doing right now?
Career started. Okay, so in college, I told earlier also, like I got a training in .NET C#, and I always thought, okay, I'll kind of become a backend developer. And when I joined, I got a job in a team called Mobile Practice Team. The first thing that they said, okay, you are hired for probably production support. It was service-based company. They were training me on Unix commands and everything, and I was like, okay, I'll do anything now. And then there was one opening which kind of came into embedded systems. They asked me, this is the board, Beagle board, port Android on it. And I said, okay, is it difficult? Why exactly am I doing it? Are we making mobile phone? Are we making some handheld device and all? All the people around me, they were like, hey, we are not kind of as of now we are making this to make proposals and all. So did that. It was largely commands and OS level stuff that I was doing at that time. Learned mobile development. I coded mobile applications and all. I stayed in mobile for very long time actually. I told, like, I kind of coded on almost all the mobile phones. Stayed on iOS for the longest time. And when I was working at Shuttle, I got an opportunity there that entire vertical I had to manage. And this was actually crazy opportunity. Shuttle was a very growing startup, and very interesting problem statement we were solving. So then I started getting my hands dirty in deep backend, in production level backend, because you
Right,
keep on
right.
doing some stuff. In my previous companies also, I kind of did some on ROR, Ruby on Rails and all, did something in PHP, Python and all. But here I kind of got into the backend, understood the backend, how the architecture and everything. So now, as your original question is, now I'm kind of into a management role wherein like I'm manufacturing, identifying the problems. When I said manufacturing, it is like you are just identifying and breaking it down into the right way so that team can kind of take it further. And many a times you do a lot of data analysis to understand, to pinpoint the problem, or to kind of provide solutions. So in a shallow terms, I can say that okay, I'm right now a solution provider to my team. That okay, this is the problem that we have got. This is how we should kind of break it down. This is how we should kind of approach it. Occasionally, I review code. Most of the time, review design. So that's how
Okay.
it's kind of going on right now.
So, टिपिकली मुझे लगता है कि आपके टीम में भी लॉट ऑफ पीपल हु मस्ट बी थिंकिंग कि भाई ये करता क्या है, राइट? सो मतलब ही हैज द इजीएस्ट जॉब इन द वर्ल्ड, बता करके चलेगा कि ये करना है. सो राइट, सो कैन यू टेल your fellow engineers ki what does a VP or an AVP, what does their typical day look like, and why their job is not as easy as it appears to be for to their team?
Right, sure. So actually, one interesting bit before we talk about that. I was working at Tokopedia, and we used to kind of go for tea every now and then. And one person who is very vocal, very friendly, and everything, he kind of point blank asked me, "What do you do? You come to office, you hold some stand-ups, and then you kind of go into some meetings you don't know, and it is always talking, talking, talking. And what do you do? Obviously, your salary would be higher than me." And I tried to explain him then, and every now and then that questions in different mannerism, it keeps on coming up. So generally, as an engineering leader, your job is to kind of it's a very holistic job. Many people won't understand what kind of problems that you are dealing with and that you are solving. I break it down in a manner like there are different areas like product, process, people, technology, and business. The 5 areas. I often kind of give this as triple PTM as a framework. I learned it from one of my managers.
Okay.
Great learning, and then I started building over it. So when it comes to business, we are a trusted ally, and to enable the business how they want to kind of whatever they want to achieve in the next 1 month, 2 months, 6 months, 1 year, whatever you call like roadmap, AOP, LTP, those plannings and everything, and then you start to kind of see how do you want to enable your business
Right.
from that particular perspective, understanding their pain point, what kind of levers that they are touching to solve some metrics that is gonna impact the business in the real numbers. That is the business point of it, giving them that comfort and that trust that okay, you bring the problem, we'll give you the solution and we'll ship it. Product, very obvious things. You are building the product, all the ideas that product team is kind of bringing in on the table, criticizing them, learning from them, understanding, giving them the technical point of view, taking their product point of view, how exactly they reach to this particular solution, and how exactly this will magically happen in the system, whatever you have thought. That partnership, and when you partner with product team, you'll see it is kind of pretty awesome stuff. Like you are kind of there is a osmosis of thoughts and everything. So as an engineering leader, we are kind of looking at the roadmaps, what they want to achieve, how they kind of okay, so they have various problems that they got, they have shortlisted which problem will create some solution, some impact. They have simulations and everything, and then you kind of give that, okay, I understood the problem, but the solution may not work in this way. I'll give you another solution, and you kind of give them some comfort around the sizing of the project. That okay, this much time it will take and all, and what kind of difficulties, what kind of external factors will come in and all. So you do this collaboration far before it reaches to the team. It is like for them it is left shift, and for us it is the business, day-to-day business that we do with product team. Process wise, there is a concept called Pokayoki, error proofing and everything. You keep that mindset, okay, how you want to make the process in a way that the process itself is avoiding the errors, process itself is avoiding some issues. How you want to kind of create mechanisms that will kind of make sure the quality of the product is good, the productivity of your team is good. People won't know, but they are efficient because of certain levers that you did in the process. So defining this process, so one of the things that engineering leader does is defining a robust engineering process. Again, some learning that I got from one of my manager, and the process is around when you get the PRD, you do your planning first, then development, then testing, then release, and then monitoring. A lot of people do it reactively. We try to do it proactively.
Got it.
So it's like, it's not when you kind of,
in maybe, let's say if you have to summarize this, what's the toughest part being an, engineering leader? Can you summarize this in maybe 2-3 lines?
I mean, it is actually a difficult task actually to summarize in 2-3 lines. But the thing is like creating a balance between the business, technology, and aspirations of the people.
Okay. Beautifully summed up actually. It's beautifully summed up.
Yeah.
Makes a lot of sense.
So it is always that way. Like you are responsible for the growth of some 40-50 folks. They are looking up to you. They want some guidance, how they would lead their careers, what exactly they will be doing. You might be doing something that can impact their future right now, and at the same time, like the business that you are in, that is paying all of the salaries.
Yeah,
you have to kind of keep enabling that as a partner.
Correct. You have to think from the business perspective as well.
Exactly. A lot of times you will see, like being a technical leader yourself, you would kind of see that the developers, they are the kinds of developers actually who just kind of want to do some good technical stuff. It will take as much time it will take. They want to be a technician. Some people are just, they like being hustlers in startups and kind of ship fast, fail fast. And I say that both are right. Why don't we find a balance between them? When you have to be a hustler, you need to look for speed, fail fast and all, you do that. But sometimes you'll have to kind of have that technician mindset also.
Correct.
You can't just kind of get things done, and for the sake of simplicity avoid the first principles of engineering. So you tell those folks, okay, think from the business also, why we are doing in the first place, what are the implications and all. So that bit is something that to connect with the previous question of yours, many times when the project has come, people discuss and they kind of say, why it is so urgent. Everything is urgent for business. I've seen that in all my companies that I work with.
Requirement आएगी मेरे को अभी के अभी चाहिए.
अभी के अभी तो ये बात तो हो गई कि भाई बहुत practical. I needed it yesterday. That's how many times it comes, and I have seen in all the companies that I work with.
Why do you think is that? मतलब क्यों हर बारी जब भी business से आता है कुछ भी requirement, marketing से आया कुछ feature होगा, क्यों हमेशा? Why is that rush always?
In general, like if I just say that, okay, let's kind of think as an individual. I am the guy, and my goal right now with my tunnel vision is to go there to that particular point, and I see that point. Then why I would want to walk? Why don't I want to run? Why don't I want to jump?
कहीं ये ऐसा इसलिए तो नहीं है because they also know if they will give you a relaxed timeline, probably the team will relax it further, even further more, right? Versus अगर शुरू से ही प्रेशर बनाओ, ताकि उन्हें भी पता है, मुझे लगता है कि दे ऑल्सो नो बाय नाउ कि ऐसा नहीं है कि हम बोलेंगे कि अभी चाहिए तो अभी हो जाएगा. इट्स स्टिल गोइंग टू टेक इट्स ओन गुड टाइम, राइट? बट स्टिल दे डू दैट.
अच्छा, तो दोनों बातें हैं बेसिकली. आई वुड नॉट से लाइक ऑल business folks are kind of thinking in that mindset. Sometimes planning kind of takes that kind of understanding and that kind of attribution in your effort estimation, that okay, you would know that cone of uncertainty.
You're right.
Like right now we are uncertain, so abhi the buffer would look big. And मैं अगर आपको buffer अभी से बता दूंगा, तो there is a principle, I forgot the name actually, but it will take whatever time you'll give, it will take that much time only. You'll never deliver before time.
It will take more time actually, not even that much time. So it's a very ideal situation.
Right. So many times you'll see कि कोई compliance आया है और बोला है कि next year मई में करना है, तक करना है, मई तक. वो मई में ही होगा जाके.
हाँ, करेक्ट.
ऐसा नहीं होगा कि दिसंबर में आप निपटा लोगे.
करेक्ट.
So इस वजह से लोग एट्रीब्यूशन वो कर रहे हैं.
But there is nothing wrong with that ना. अगर मई में होना है, as long as वो मई में हो जा रहा है, then what's wrong with that?
Nothing wrong with that. So it is just this. I'm just saying कि you have that understanding, then you'll have to take that learning from that 1% thing, then you will have to kind of extrapolate. अगर आपने ये कहा कि अगर मई में हो जा रहा है तो इट्स ओके, लेकिन अगर मई में कंफर्टेबली नहीं हो रहा है, मई में सारे लोग एकदम हसल करके कर रहे हैं, रात भर जग के कर रहे हैं,
then it's poor planning.
And that's why probably आप मई की टाइमलाइन ना दे करके आप अप्रैल की टाइमलाइन दो.
Right.
So that's why I was saying कि मतलब कुछ एट्रीब्यूशन होता है कि for kind of it is actually I would say कि a decent way of plan. आप ब्रेक डाउन कर लो सारी चीजें, थोड़ा सा टाइमलाइन के लिए आप थोड़ा सा पीछे लेकर के चलोगे तो कि आपके पास बफर रहता है. But in general there are many folks of that nature also who would want to kind of keep you on toes and all. एक तीसरा भी मैंने देखा है कि many times business and marketing, they have, not many times, I would say in couple of companies that I worked with, wherein I was very much exposed to those folks, working very closely, and I saw that they have this immense trust in technology. कि आप प्रॉब्लम दे दो वो कर देंगे, ठीक है ना, आप प्रॉब्लम दे दो वो कर देंगे. आप उनको टाइमलाइन एक बता दो और उनको जो लीडर है उसको ये भी बता दो कि यार यहाँ तक का रखते हैं, यहाँ तक कर लेंगे, ये हमारा बफर है. I have seen that thing, और वो इतना आराम से चलता है. Many times they start to kind of think the technology team as some sort of magicians. I was working with fab.com back in 2012-13. They used to literally call the technology team the magicians.
So basically जो आप कह रहे हो ये सारी चीजें जो होती, so I break things into, मतलब जो भी प्रॉब्लम होती है, it's either a people problem or a process problem, right? So what you are saying is it's typically a process problem.
It typically, yeah, you can say process problem because planning is part of process.
Correct, right.
तो अगर आप planning right नहीं करोगे तो people will always have the urgencies. And urgency, जो sense of urgency एक चीज होती है जो आप बना के रखते हो लोगों के लिए, और कई बार जो है सिर्फ urgency आती है किसी real project के लिए. तो दोनों में थोड़ा सा डिफरेंस रहता है. सेंस ऑफ अर्जेंसी आप बनाते हो ताकि आपके पास जो भी प्रॉब्लम से थोड़ा जल्दी आए, अदरवाइज दे विल नॉट काइंड ऑफ थिंक राइट नाउ. अ लॉट ऑफ पीपल से कि ठीक है दिस इज अ प्रॉब्लम फॉर लेट्स से जुलाई, आई विल डू इट इन जुलाई, अभी मैं उस बारे में क्यों इतना सोचूं.
कभी-कभी वो सेंस ऑफ अर्जेंसी इज मोर लाइक अ ड्रिल फॉर द टीम कि जब एक्चुअल में अर्जेंसी आएगी देन हाउ द टीम विल रिएक्ट टू दैट.
श्योर, लाइक दैट वे आल्सो इट काइंड ऑफ वर्क्स एंड हेल्प्स. और मेनी टाइम्स वो चाहिए भी होता है कि आप एक बार सोचो तो सही उस बारे में. आपको लग रहा है कि हाँ ये जुलाई के लिए, हम जुलाई में कर लूंगा, जुलाई में क्या पता कुछ और आ जाए. अभी आप सोचोगे नहीं तो वो होगा नहीं.
Right.
So at different levels of your team and maturity of the folks, they start to plan differently, think differently. टीम के लिए सारे टाइम अर्जेंसी अगर बनी रह रही, you are breaking the team, and that is something that I personally avoid. I question a lot before than the team why it is urgent, that much urgent. What kind of if it is a commitment to certain leadership, that's it, or it's a commitment to some market and there's some media involved, कि कुछ लॉन्च होने वाला है.
इंटरनल कमिटमेंट है, एक्सटर्नल
हाँ,
कमिटमेंट
exactly.
है किसके लिए?
So हाँ, तो उस बेसिस पे देखा जाए, अगर it's a commitment with a hard deadline, then I'll see at the scope if it is doable also or not. If the scope can be cut, can we take out the MVP, can we take out the P0s, can we take out something that we can do quickly and enable them.
So अब जैसे कि क्या होता है, lot of times you have created so much urgency to deliver a certain product or a feature, right? And in few weeks or a couple of months the team decides कि यार we'll have to pull it back, this is not working out. This pulls down the morale of the team immensely. So how do you help? I'm sure ये होता होगा आपके साथ भी with your team as well. So how do you motivate the team in those cases, and don't they come back to you questioning कि यार हमने last time भी करा था, वही urgency थी, 2 महीने बाद तो feature ही हट गया हमारा. Then what's the point of working on that?
So for me, in this particular case, probably the first time when it happened, you react to it by kind of saying that okay, I'll get your answers and what kind of answers, and give a transparency after that event has kind of gone, and then building the trust again that okay, this has happened, that has happened, if you were there, what could have been your call, this way, that way. But it is more reactive. But that was the first time. Now if it is kind of happening to every time it is like this, the I'll just kind of give you an example. Recently there was a project which was time critical. Being the advocate for the developers first, I asked why the urgency is, what are the implications, what is the success criteria, what if it fails, when do we decide to pull the plug. And if we roll back this huge effort, if we are wasting, then can we kind of make sense of certain bits of this particular project.
And I think it's not just the morale, the kind of cost that goes into shipping that feature is also huge.
Time is cost, right. Time is cost, code is cost, everything is cost.
Correct, right.
So all those things, then I started questioning that thing first. And instead of kind of just pushing it to the team that it is urgent, I know it is urgent, trust me, do it, I tell them why exactly it is urgent. Because when you asked all those questions to the length and you have the answer, you can kind of tell them how exactly it will make sense for them.
Correct. So basically after a certain point of time you have to decide कि मेरे को people management के side move करना है या फिर IC में move करना है, right? So why people management, why not IC?
It's actually sometimes the situation take the choice for you, and sometimes you take the choice. So I often tell the people that life, whenever you kind of navigating the life, every point in your journey, life presents you the options. And sometimes your choice works, sometimes it doesn't. And a lot of cliche things as dil ki suno, listen to your gut feeling and kind of go with that. And sometimes the data speaks for itself. I had worked for a long time as an IC and then senior IC and everything. I love to code. Every now and then, wherein there is a friend in crisis or some old friends who are doing their startups, they want me to kind of do some freelancing for them. I just do it for them to kind of settle my itch for coding. But the decision of moving towards the people management, it was a choice that I kind of got essentially in Shuttle. I joined there as
it was a conscious choice, या फिर it was a situation?
Situation came to me.
Okay.
And the choice was completely mine. See, you have to lead people technically. That goes beyond saying that okay, you are a senior in the team. Somebody will come, okay, sir, I'm stuck here, I am dealing with this issue.
But I think people management doesn't just end at leading your team, but also it's a very cross-functional kind of a role.
Exactly. And once you kind of for the first time when you do it, it is kind of total chaos. and I read a lot about it. If I just kind of take you back to that point, when in shuttle, I joined as iOS architect, then I was promoted to mobile architect, and then to front end architect, and it was just architect role that I'm kind of leading them technically, providing solutions and this and that. But then one of the VP left, and the situation came to me,
Okay.
and it came to me like this: okay, this is the situation that I'm dealing with, that we all are dealing with, and you are kind of leading a team technically.
Yeah.
Do you want to try your hands in people management? It's an engineering manager. We are kind of going from technology based teams to vertical full stack teams, a pod structure. So would you be interested? It is always kind of exciting to hear that, okay, somebody is feeling that, okay, you are,
You deserve this.
you can do it.
can
I mean,
do this.
deserving is the second thing.
Correct,
It's like that was my question.
Someone putting their faith in you is a
Exactly.
big deal as well.
Yeah, so I was like, okay, do you think I can do? Okay, we think you can do. And then there were certain projects that we discussed which happened in the past, wherein there were some people issues
Yeah.
and calling issues and all, and I had to kind of play that particular role of conflict resolver, and I did that, and then tried to kind of help folks providing the solution. It was a conflict between the product and tech regarding one solution. So there were some projects that we discussed. Okay, that happened, and then I said, okay, why don't we kind of take a survey also? And then we thought, okay, let's not kind of do it like in a very official manner. Let's do it unofficial and see what happens.
Correct.
Then people said, okay, we are ready to work under his leadership, and that was my that moment that, okay, I am good with people. I am solving problems with product. I worked with marketing growth team when we were launching a new city. I worked with this team, that team. I solved that. Let's give it a try. I'll see how much I'll have to tame my candid behavior. How much I have to kind of see that how exactly I'll navigate in a right manner.
Does it
not
come naturally or not?
yeah, does it come naturally, or I have to kind of restrain myself?
So आपने
Yeah.
पहले कभी सोचा था before actually getting into this role
Never.
कि
Never.
नॉट पीपल मैनेजमेंट, ये सोचा था कि मेरे को ये करना है, आईसी में ही रहना है या पीपल मैनेजमेंट में ही रहना है?
I loved being IC, and I always thought that I'll be in IC role only. I'll continue to be IC. See, every now and then, like people kind of when they ask, okay, what is your moonshot? What is that you see yourself after 5 or 10 years and all? I said, क्या होगा? शायद 10-15 साल बाद CTO बन जाऊंगा मैं, क्योंकि एज हो जाती, तुम तब तक बढ़ते रहते हो, growing with the age and all. Initially, I was not that ambitious at all. I was just like, yeah, I'm enjoying, I'm loving the technology.
Then
I'm
what changed?
exploring everything.
So you are ambitious now?
Later, I understood I was ambitious in technological nature. Now I'm ambitious about the problems, and when you are kind of dealing with different kind of people, different kind of teams, giving them solutions, solving negotiations, conflict resolutions, answering them, holding yourself accountable and others accountable, keeping the respect in the room. Those kind of things, when you start doing that, it's like, okay, when you do these things, it is similar kick that you get. Okay, I built a product, I coded, I made a commit, and it kind of built something. It is the similar kick.
It becomes a way of life.
Yeah, then you kind of start enjoying that bit also. So initially I never thought I'll kind of go into a people management role. Initially I used to kind of get scared also. Back in 2010 and all, when people used to come to me, ask me questions, and I feel that, okay, I don't have the answers. Oh my god, how this guy would perceive me now, that this person says, okay, I know a lot, and he doesn't know at all. And that's how the notion is, like, you should have the answers. Apparently you understand you don't have to have the
It's
answers.
not. Correct.
And when I became that engineering manager bit and started struggling from that thing, and I'll take that, I think there was a good essay that Paul Graham wrote around the maker's time and manager's time, and that came across, and I read that, and I see, okay, how exactly I want to kind of do this work when I see also lead also, and now engineering manager also. So I'm kind of wearing all these hats, shuffling around, and that time you kind of work 14, 16, 18 hours and all.
So, do you given a chance, कभी regret होता है कि यार नहीं मेरे को IC में ही रहना चाहिए था?
Regret नहीं होता है, but I kind of miss coding many times, and as I said, like I kind of settle my itch by helping friends, freelancing their stuff, though they don't pay me now.
I'll connect with you then.
And then it's like code reviews every now and then when I'm kind of getting, okay, this day is little light, let's see how people are kind of so there's Slack groups where the PR requests are coming, and you kind of open a PR, you see, you leave a comment, you read some stuff and all, and for AI you kind of start exploring stuff like that. But it is the coding that I miss, not that okay I regret.
Got it.
Yeah.
So, talking about AI, how is AI impacting the gaming industry, or is it not right now?
AI is impacting everything. I would not say it is impacting gaming industry. It is impacting in many ways actually.
In a more direct fashion, I would say. Indirectly, obviously, it's impacting almost all aspects of our life. Forget about just tech or product.
So I think in general, like people may kind of think, okay, AI is kind of disrupting when it comes to the user experience and everything, or how people are playing. Can they kind of take that help and all? But largely, like as an industry, it is like I have not seen that kind of impact on the industry per se, but internally it is impacting everyone.
Got it. So how do you forecast, this impacting the industry overall? Do you think it will impact the industry? If yes, in what fashion?
No, so I cannot forecast around the industry wise, like okay, if it is gonna impact gaming in that way. You would want to kind of definitely look for some superior UX, some solutions that can be powered by AI, because it can kind of help users deciding different things and all. But largely, like technology industry, I would say, like all the technology companies and everything, it is gonna impact big time.
Okay.
And it is impacting actually, like there are two ways of learning. I often tell people, one is like you are kind of learning on your own, or sometimes you are kind of when you are having the conversation within your team and in interviews also.
Right.
When you are kind of talking folks, okay, what are you doing in AI, how exactly things are working, Copilot, GPT, what model are you using, if it is agentic or not, have you tried that experimental feature, have you tried cursor AI. A lot of those things, you have those conversations, they understand, okay, this person doesn't even know that his code, 20% of his code is written by AI.
Right.
They don't know.
So, see, there are a lot of companies who are saying they won't be hiring any junior engineers. Even companies like Google, Facebook, Salesforce, etc. They are saying, right now they are 20-30% of the code is written by AI. So, do you think, or do you already have some similar kind of planning, internally as well, jahan par the leadership is talking about not hiring more people but making them more efficient, because from what I understand, AI is actually making every engineer at least 5x 6x more productive if they know how to use it properly, if they know the right prompt, if they know how to ask the right questions.
You kind of made a very important point, and that point is all we are kind of discussing among not just my current leadership and my peers and everything, in general communities, in my own peer network and all. What kind of impact AI is making as of now? You see, okay, the code is being written by them. Many people are just using it for boilerplate code and some suggestions and all. We talk and discuss about that. How do we want to measure if this impact is helping us or not? Because it's cost also. Correct. You are putting money in these AI solutions or building for RAG models and all, and for that, when you are putting that money, what kind of output are we getting, and also those kind of conversation keeps on happening. To talk about that bit, like do we want to hire junior resource or not, people have different thoughts. They can kind of plan their own ways. One may hit, one may not. I'm not saying that I'm kind of supporting this thought or not. I'll kind of give you I'm a movie buff, so I'll give you an example. Actually, there's a beautiful movie called Hidden Figures. It was based on NASA's mission to kind of send men on in space actually. And at that time, like there were a lot of people working as computers.
Yeah.
And those are not computers, they were actually making the calculations. And then NASA ordered an IBM, which was, I think, if you collect all these 4 rooms, that big of a computer was sitting in somewhere. And in another room, there were 40 computers who are kind of actually making the calculations. And when you see that computer and you see, okay, these 40 people will be out of job. Because whatever they are calculating in a month, it is doing in seconds. So at that time, I saw that in that particular movie, it was something very clearly saying that, and it is also a callback to the first question that we were talking about. So one lady, she started looking at how I can code instructions into computer so that the calculation is happening. She became a programmer from a computer running the calculation. She became a programmer. She was programming the computer. Right now, if you just think that, okay, I'll kind of not take the junior developer, how are you going to nurture the industry then? How are you going to nurture the talent then? Because nobody kind of comes with like 5 years experience right off the college.
Correct.
So you have to nurture them, and to nurture them you need to see that, okay, don't hate AI, start using AI and be that 5x developer right away. So how do you want to write your prompt? How do you want to use the AI which is writing, doing your code review, creating those design diagrams, your dependency graphs, your HLDs, information flow, all the documentation, a lot of those use cases you can think of. You code for that. I have people in my team who are kind of working on the top of these Gemini, Copilot, APIs and all, and building that stuff. And those are not actually very senior folks.
Right.
Those are junior folks.
Correct.
It's their interest. So now, from becoming just a developer who is writing the code, who is starting to use a tool, AI, and they are now writing faster. Just like the way if you walk from Gurgaon to Faridabad, it will take the entire day. But if you're going by a car, in 1 hour.
Correct.
So that's the idea that I'm kind of going with right now with respect to AI.
Got it. Getting to my last question. So abhi थोड़ी देर पहले you just mentioned that there was a time when you were actually working for 14, 16, 18 hours a day, right? So do you think there has been a lot of debate around 40, 60, 80 hours कितना काम करना चाहिए, नहीं करना चाहिए? What do you think, कितना काम करना चाहिए, and what does it take to reach the top? अगर tech leadership में आना है, then what does it really take?
What does it really take is the hunger, and hunger drives your hours, not the hours drives your growth. It's like I think that debate only, you were just saying, like people say, okay, these many hours. Time is an input that many people consider, but you look at the output. I see people who are morning people like me come early. In 2 hours, they kind of using that Pareto principle. In those 2 hours, they are doing the job of the day.
Correct.
And then rest of the times you are kind of helping folks, floor walking, solving some problems and all. But there are many people who are night owls, who are working in nights, and they are kind of doing that. I was just saying, okay, collaborate, have the overlap. Your hunger to reach at the top, whichever is top in your mind.
Whatever your
top is. Yeah, whatever your top is, whatever your benchmark is, you would kind of continue to kind of work towards that. And I think at that time you would not see that how many hours am I working. You would kind of get immense pleasure when you do that thing and you see that thing happen,
because you're driven by passion.
Yes, exactly. See, you will see a lot of people who are in business because it's their baby. They want to kind of, see and do in that manner. And my father is a businessman, and he was kind of, not looking at the clock. If the customer is there, it's a very small shop, customer is there, सुबह 4 बजे भी उठ रहे हैं, रात को 12 बजे भी जा रहे हैं. And he was like, यार, I never had a holiday like that. You should never do the business. You should just go in service, do the job, and get your salary, get your weekends and everything. I said, fine, let's do that. And now I see myself when I am feeling that, okay, I have tried and failed in some of the avenues in startups, when I with few friends did some startup. And at that time I was not looking at the clock, I was not looking at if it is dark outside or what. I'm just kind of, okay, I need to make this particular thing work today, and if it is working, that's what my kick is.
Correct.
And that's how it should work. I mean, whenever somebody says, okay, time is an input, okay, do 80 hours a week, I would say, like, be ambitious, think more. It's as good as this, that if you'll not kind of, think that you can lift more than 10 kgs, you'll never lift more than 10 kgs. You need to think that, okay, let's try 11. What will happen? Probably you'll kind of, cannot lift it for a longer time. You would put it down, but you'll train your muscles to kind of, do that way. So be a little more ambitious, learn more, be hungry around that particular bit. Don't just stick to whatever is coming your way via the roadmap, via the
Write your own rules.
Yeah.
If that's what I think, that's also dependent on person to person. If that's what you want to do, then you have to take that
Exactly.
path. Yeah.
So that bit is completely right. Like, I mean, I always say that when you are in the right job, you practice the work-life harmony. When the work needs you, you are at work. When the life needs you, you are at life. When there is a tie, you are again at life. But if you are at the wrong job, then you'll probably talk about work-life balance.
Correct. Makes sense.